So as you can see, I got a little bit carried away doing some online art supply shopping, getting a few miscellaneous craft tools as well. I went on the Jackson's Art Supplies website and I'll be doing more of a thorough kind of talk about the shop itself and their website throughout the video, but I am really excited to just dive right in and see what I've got. And I know some of you, as you kindly commented, would like me to just get on with it as well. I will say this will be quite a chatty video. I do like to talk. I like to be thorough and just cover any questions that I do anticipate coming up. So if that isn't your cup of tea, if the length of this video looks like it's going to offend you, then you know, no hard feelings, just don't watch this one. I will leave timestamps below in the description to any useful bits of the video that you might want to skip to. But with all that said, I can't wait any longer. I just want to see what I've bought and why. Oh God, that is heavy. Okay, so right on top, and probably the least interesting thing in here, but it is a good kind of segue into the why behind this whole haul. This is just some masking film. I've wanted to experiment more with watercolours recently and just play with kind of stenciling and using shapes and washes in a fun and interesting way. I've never used masking paper before rather than masking fluid, so yeah, I don't know how it's going to go, but I thought it would be interesting to try this out. If anything, I think it will work well with gouache or acrylics, or you know, with the use of ink and rollers.
I was pleasantly surprised with this masking film. I quickly and sloppily cut out a couple of stencils and found that it was really easy to cut into tiny precise details with a sharp craft knife. It stuck down great and stayed down. I got the crisp lines that I was looking for, and overall it was just what I needed.
Everything else in here is a mystery right now. I ordered these a few days ago. I got next day delivery, but I am the kind of person, I don't like to spend a lot of money, but when I do spend money, I do spend a lot at once and quite impulsively. So I'm not the kind of person that checks my basket before I check out. So everything else in here, your guess is as good as mine. I do remember what this thing is. Whew. I have the worst upper body strength, you guys. This is so embarrassing. Right. This is an artist's easel box, or box easel. I've never used one of these before, but I wanted something convenient and portable. I have quite a few of these wooden boxes anyway from car boot sales. I think they're really useful to store paints in, and I like the added benefit of having an easel built in as well. Something a bit less cumbersome than this big guy.
Yeah, the box easel is simple but well made. It's sturdy and roomy inside with lots of space for paints and brushes and whatever else you might want in there. I'll have to let you know how I get on with the easel section. I was struggling to fit it all into the camera frame, but from the looks of it, it was just what I was looking for. It's just got a lovely charming look to it and a really good sturdy feel as well.
Right, let's see what else I've got. Lots of bubble wrap. I got 3 of these. These are just glass jars that I would like to use for my water. It's actually wet already. I guess they wet it to seal the lid on. Interesting. Okay, I'm really struggling to open that, but I've got 3 of these just to put water in for while I'm painting. I've got a few jars, and there's the jar that you see in my videos all the time, and I just wanted some larger ones that I could have both as a useful thing to be painting with, but also as a nice display item. And these look like very good quality, nice and weighty, and it's arrived in great condition. I don't know why it's wet, and I am struggling to open it, but those things are minor.
So I finally prized the lid off the big one. They are good quality, no scratches or anything, no chips or dents. They hold a lot of water, and overall just have the look I was going for. This purchase was half about the practicality and half about the aesthetic, and these do tick both of those boxes.
Alright, so that is split open in there, but these are just some sponges that I bought. These are natural sea sponges, and they are the Jackson's own brand. I thought these would be cool to use, again, with the masking paper, and just to make some textures, some nice textures in my paintings. I've liked using sponges in my art before, so it'd be nice to get back into that. They do feel really nice. There's a few different textures to them, so I think I could get some nice use out of these.
The sponges are cool. I like the variety of textures and sizes. The little ones especially have a lot of character and make just the kind of textures I was looking for. Really looking forward to using these.
Just FYI, by the way, this isn't a sponsored video. None of this stuff was sent to me. I paid for it with all my own money, and Jackson's have no idea that I'm making this video. I do love them though. I actually discovered them a year or so ago. They have a shop in Putney, by Putney Bridge, near where my sister lived at the time. They also have a store in Dorset, East London, which you can actually do a 360-degree tour of the inside, which is amazing if you really want that hidden a candy store feeling, or if you're like me and you get a bit anxious going to places that you've never been before, it's a nice like kind of warm up to seeing how the store is laid out. They also have a store in somewhere called Quedgley in Gloucester. Anyway, I remember passing by the Putney shop, and any artist knows that feeling of discovering a new art supply store and just, you know, seeing everything mouth-watering. And like I said, I'm not much of a shopper. I actually get quite overwhelmed in shops, so I didn't buy anything at the time, but since then I have used the website time and time again for finding art supplies that I think are quite well priced, competitively priced, and also things that I've struggled to find on Amazon, which is where I tend to go for art supplies. But I will get into pricing later on in the video. Let's carry on and see what I've got. So, oh right, okay. They've just packed a lot of stuff into this acrylic box. Okay, so this paint is actually the culprit behind all of this. I, like I said, have wanted to get back into using watercolours, and I've heard a lot of great things about the Daniel Smith watercolours. I've really struggled to find them well priced online. They are incredibly expensive anyway, but everywhere else I've looked, they are majorly overpriced. So Jackson's, I found, was the best price that I could find, and I mean, still it was super expensive, so I decided to just get a few that I thought would be useful and usable just as a starting point, and you know, if I need to get any more, I will do.
Oh boy, these paints totally lived up to the hype. They are lovely and richly pigmented, smooth to apply with a great variation in lightness and opacity depending on how much water is used. Overall, they just seem like pure quality paints. The swatches on the Jackson's website were really accurate as well. I only wish I'd chosen either phthalo blue or Prussian blue, not both, since they are not too far off each other.
So back to the topic of pricing, I will say that I do find Jackson's are really good and competitive in comparison to maybe art supply stores that aren't so art specific, so maybe more crafty like Hobbycraft, The Range, even The Works. I have found it to be quite a struggle to find certain brands in art supply shops here in the UK, and if any of you guys can help me out, that'd be amazing. But I find that, you know, things that I see being used by maybe American artists or even European artists, I find are really difficult to find even on Amazon here, unless you know the right places. And as an online shopper, I've struggled so far to find a good place, but Jackson's has really filled that need for me. And I've realised they actually do a price match on certain brands against stores like Hobbycraft and Cassarts, which is another local store that I wanted to check out. Also, to go with the watercolour paintings, I got some tape to stretch paper. I really miss, I don't know, just the act of stretching paper. It's one of those art things that I enjoy doing, one of those things that doesn't take a lot of thought, but it feels kind of crafty. So looking forward to doing some of that. I also bought a little spray jar. This was kind of overindulgent because I already have quite a few of these, but I like that it's a glass one, and yeah, that looks pretty good to me. That again is just for, you know, re-wetting my palette and keeping my paints nice and moist. Ooh, wow. Oh, that is that's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Right, so this is a porcelain palette for my paints, and I bought it because it has this lovely design. It's definitely not something that I needed, but it is just gorgeous. It's got this lovely like Chinese dragon design on it, and I've been looking for a porcelain palette for my paints. They are generally the best in terms of not, what's the word, splitting the paint. Anyone that's used like plastic palettes and even metal ones will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I had to be, again, overindulgent and just get one just really gorgeous. Like, isn't that'll look amazing on display somewhere. It's way bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be about this size, but you know, that's just me not checking the dimensions of things and buying things really impulsively. I mean, I'm happy, I'm thrilled with the size of it. I think that is so special, and that is something that I'll have forever.
I just love this. It's weighty, it's beautiful, and it handles paint perfectly with no beading on the porcelain surface. My mum said it looks like I think she called it like an appetizer bowl. She said she could get loads of these for cheap from the charity shop, which is fair enough. I hadn't even thought of that. but I do love this one nonetheless.
Okay, so this is just some masking fluid. I got the Winsor & Newton kind because the only other masking fluids I've used have been kind of off-brand ones, and they worked all right, but I think it would be nice to see how well a proper brand one will do. What I like about the Jackson's website is that they actually have reviews on products, and this one had some really good reviews, so looking forward to seeing how well this works, again for just doing some fun things with watercolour.
This masking fluid worked great, just as the reviews said. It was a great consistency, dried nicely and evenly, and did its job. It stopped the paint getting through to the paper, and it came up cleanly and all in one piece, leaving a good clean line behind. It stinks, but all masking fluid stinks.
So back to the topic of the website, it is dangerous, to say the least. Dangerous in the sense that I went on there to buy these and I bought all of this. The way things are laid out for me just makes sense. It's just so easy to find what you're looking for. Everything is where you would expect it to be. Everything's categorized really well, and the search function works really well. The site itself is just really responsive, and there's a lot of detail given to each individual item, as well as I said, reviews on most things that I looked at. They do ship worldwide for I think quite good prices. I mean, the most expensive that I could find was £34 for the heaviest shipping to Brazil, which is quite a lot to be fair, but looking at places like Australia, the US, it averages from between like £5 and £25, so depending on what you've bought and like the value and weight of what you've bought, it could work out being quite cost effective. Also, just on the topic of their website, their Instagram as well is just goals. We're getting there. These, as I was talking about, this is something that I really didn't need. It wasn't what I was looking for, but I was having a browse and I ended up buying one of these glue tape things. I just love seeing like crafters and journalers using these. It seems really handy. So I saw that and thought, yeah, I want one of those. So I added that to my basket and then didn't think about it again. And to go with that, I also, because you know I need more random glue things, bought this Tombow. This was Tombow as well. Liquid glue. See, I don't even know what this is, but yeah, I think it's just like a glue stick type thing. It's got a pen tip and a broad tip. Now this is a watercolour pad. This is Arches. You probably have seen these before. I have always wanted to try this watercolour paper. I've heard really good things about it. Do I need any more watercolour paper? Absolutely not. Do I have any room for any more watercolour paper? Not at the moment, but I am looking forward to trying this out. I just love the look of the cover, which is such a silly reason to buy watercolour paper, but I have heard some really good things about this one, so we'll see how that goes as well.
This watercolour paper looks lovely. I didn't try it out because I don't want to waste it, but the pages are thick and textured with a subtle creamy tone rather than a harsh white. The pad itself is well constructed and overall it just oozes quality. I did actually find this one slightly cheaper on Amazon though.
Okay, I know that this is a selection of brushes. I've been really excited to get some new brushes. Most of the brushes that I use already are from Jackson's as well. They have a great range of kind of own brand brushes, really good quality and really good prices. This whole video has been such a workout, but that just goes to show how unfit I am. Ooh, see, I've always wanted these lovely big thick mop brushes and they're so expensive. Yeah, I started out at first just going for this, which is just a large round brush. This is a 12, and then I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go all out, and I got this gorgeous synthetic mop brush, and for some reason got another one. This, oh my god, look at that one. That is pretty awesome and just what I was looking for. I'm so happy with the size of this. It feels great. I love this wiring detail on it. Just the construction of it overall is really nice, especially for a own brand product. Love this. Right, and then I just got this. Now this, I know that I could have got on Amazon, but I thought while I'm doing this massive haul, I might as well go for it from Jackson's. This is a 24 well watercolour palette. It's plastic, it's got a lovely big mixing area here. everything comes out as well, I think. And normally when you see me using watercolours in a palette, I'm using my portable painter palette, which I absolutely love, but it is very small and very well suited to being out and about. I wanted an alternative version for when I'm just at home and I want more room and more paint colours.
The size and construction of this palette are just right for what I wanted it for. The wells are nice and deep with lots of space for mixing colours too. As with most new plastic palettes, the paint did bead rather than pooling smoothly, but Carrie from Watercolour Misfit recently shared a tip on preventing that by rubbing toothpaste on the plastic and then rinsing it off, and that seems to work well. I will leave a link to that video so you can check out her channel because she has a ton of other useful videos too.
Overall, I can say I have nothing negative to say about my shopping experience with Jackson's online. I will have links below to everything that I've mentioned in this video. They will be affiliate links, so if you do buy anything from those links, I will make a small commission, so that would be amazing. I think it ends up being vouchers for the shop as well, so just an excuse for me to buy more things. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you like this kind of video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.